Hi again, in this part we are just going to continue detailing the Fern and using the cache data to create what we are going to have. One point I've missed from previous lesson is the growing mesh and pure view should be computed before this file cache. I've done that and cached the file, so we can continue clean in this part. Let's see it. Okay, we have these two guys and the leaves are also calculated. You can see they're right here. I just want to go through and show how we can use the cache data and manipulate it to reach the effect we want to have. Sometimes we are going to create huge amount of polygons and leaves, so we don't want possibly have over calculations, so we should be able to manage the cache data. So let's continue with deleting part of these leaves so we can have more speed during the manipulation. Let's select these guys from here and hit delete. And choose delete now selected. Now let's add a branch gravity, for example. In this branch gravity, I may want to have a gravity about their parents, so I'll use the end parent branch gravity for these guys. You see immediately they will get a reaction based on tip of their parent branch. When you are using the gravity, you can use negative values as well, but I really don't like for this one, this crossing from the force point. So I've designed the mixed position mode gravity, so it will never happen. It should just increase in that method our gravity amount. One more thing we have here is the base branch pose impact, which lets us to define which positions of the plant have how much gravity. And it's not related to the growth. In this case I don't want to use this one. I want also same linear branch length pose effect. This is defining from start of each leaf to the end of each leaf the power of gravity. This grow effect and gravity, I just want the newborn branch to have a gravity, so I'll increase this from here. Then the newborn branches will have the gravity. I have another control which is about branch size. I don't want this that much, so you can see I can control every aspect of gravity based on my branch data, so or attributes. So let's just make a BS spline mode for this here and create some more points. You can see these guys are getting gravity based on their position after the growth. It is growth driven actually. When the branch grows, this effect will change during the growth. We have this effect right now. One more thing I need to have is displacement. I just want to don't have this flat looking of leaves when we just visiting their section from something like side view. So I am able to change it. I can change the leaves, but I don't want to recalculate it, so I'm able to have a displacement to control this individually. Let's add a growing color. Okay, and load the 0CD to start from scratch. And I just want to have a color data based on UVs. So lots of things are changed in growing color in this version. For example, we have the mirrored transformation data in this growing color to do something based on mirror transformation later on. I've separated the color, the UV based color tab. You can now access it down of the list. I want the U to red, so I need to have a value of 1 with position of 0.5 and value of 1. It will make right the center of our leaf red, and when we get some distance it will go black, as you can see. I just need to create a displacement based on it. Let's add a displacement, growing displacement. As you can see, it has some sort of noise, which is not much about our need, so I can make more smooth results from here. On lower frequency, something like 2 possibly would be enough. Okay, we just need to have displacement in all of points, so I'll increase this value from here. And one more thing we have here is the lens effect. Let's change the red effect. I want the positions with more red to have less displacement, so I'll put a 0 in point number 2. You can see it's now getting displacement just in borders of our leaf. If we increase that, you can see it is now just building some changes based on that. Okay, I need to decrease that a bit, not that much. Not that much displacement I need. So let's switch our view to smooth shaded to see our results, how they will look in render. In terms of normal, I should add a normal right here and check it out. Let's increase the smoothness. Okay, I can say I'm sort of done with my leaves mesh. Let's continue with our finalize. You know, you can see we have all of the branches and the leaves together. Let's disable this blast. I want to continue with creating fur over this fern, like what we may see in the nature. We are able to do this sort of details using the growing bark, and in this growing bark I've added a new method in this version which is not UV driven and will work for more huge amounts of polygons and points. I want to use the UV based method for trunk and branch and the position based method for the leaves. UV based method has its own advantage about creating a point cloud with growing look, but has a bit lower speed and may need to have some edits for leaves individually. We can check them both from here. So let's add a growing bark. You can see it's immediately starting to show, but if we do the same thing exactly for these guys here, we may end up with a big error. I just want to increase the density scale to something like 10,000. We are able to add some green color to it for breaking this irregularity. You can see here, but it's not a problem by me for this guy. Let's copy these. And if we just reduce the number to 10, let's check it out with our leaves, as they have more UV compression compared to branch and trunk. It will go crazy, I can say. Let's skip. And switch to manual mode. In the scalar, we can use the by density and go add update. Okay, it's just working on it. Well, we right now have the density method. Let's freeze this guy and check. Switching back to texture space and see how the calculation will go on. You can see it's just going to be crazy. One more thing I may need to check is the scale of 1 by 1. It is now getting faster results. This is just because we were using the UV compression with high multiplies, and it would be a huge amount. By the way, I just want to use by density method in this level. And have first driven with this look. Let's merge these guys together. Let's say we just want to create a growing trunk. Copy and transform it with 180. Okay, let's the trunk and effect so we can have sort of noise on it. After this copy, we can use the trunk noise possibly. Let's increase that. I don't want much direction noise from y direction. Let's increase this guy. From top view, let's check how changing the offset impact this guy and frequency as well. Don't want something freaky. We can also use a growing noise. And the grow power. If we increase this, we'll have more noise. And if we increase this from here, I want a global mode noise, which is not lens related anymore, and changing the frequency, increasing the amplitude. Okay, I want noise to be 0 with origin. This will help me. Very nice. It is now getting me the look. As you can see, we have something similar here from top and end. I've added a noise rotation offset in this version to get me some sort of control about noise. Basically, for this level, we are just, with a negative value. Okay, I can say it is the mesh. I can scatter it. Let's add the copy, not growing copy anymore. Simple copy would be enough. Copy to points. This one should be copied to these points. As it's not packed instance, it will go crazy again with creating billions of vertices in Houdini viewport, which is actually a killing number of files. I will skip it. Okay. Go manual. I want packed instance and go auto update. Now we can see it will get back really immediate. And I just wanna change the size. From here, I don't want the scale to be really high based on width. I don't want that huge looking bark from here, so let's decrease the size, scale multiply. And continue adding more density. So let's go manual and plug it to here. Change this from here and plug this one here to make more control. I just need to have 20,000 here and here as well. Let's go to update. And check the results. I need to change the PS scale of this low to be something like 3, I can say. Yes, it is now better. We now have the barks as well, which would be in this case just ferns. Also, let's add a material. Let's go on with shading. Let's add a material here and go to the principal shader. Name this Fern. Changing names will include the calculation. Okay, let's drive the material with this node to principal shader. Just go there and change the name to leaf. Let's get back to sleeve and add a green color here. Green color will provide us simple colors to drive the look. Basically, we can use it in lots of cases, but in case that you are going to create a material, basic setup would be okay. It also has a noise blue, which will help us to get some randomness based on each branch. Actually, let's get back and see what we have in the shaders. Get 4. I want to basically have a texture. Let's continue with checking the texture over these guys with UV quick shade. Let's add a UV quick shade. It has good UV over the polygons. I just need to add a texture. Let's say we want the leaf diff. Okay, it is sort of managed, but let's add a UV transform. For this particular texture, we may need to have some scaling. Okay, now the whole of leaf is covered by the texture. Let's continue with material. Holding shift will move the whole branch when you are left click dragging. In the material, let's go to the shader. I just want to use point colors manually, so I disable this point color. And let's add a texture to the base color. This texture, lift this, and Alt Shift W will open up the window, and Alt 9 will convert it to rendering view. I've not added any light, so let's add the light here. Environment light. And a distance light. Icon is quite big. Let's continue with hitting render button. We will start to see the green color of our material, which is not actually driven by point colors. Let's go to material, and I want to bring in the color data so it's available as simple as possible using bind. I want to have a vector to float. With a multiply, can take it into the game, and the ramp parameter. So let's see the results. You can see some sort of changes here. I want to have the dark green in the bases and a yellow bright green for newborn branches. Let's increase the contrast and see what's actually happening right there. Okay, I want the very tip of branch to have some sort of red, so I'll add some kind of magenta to kill the green and add some red. Nice. Let's continue with the shader. We can add some ramp from this texture. For the specular roughness, I just like these two roughness. I need also to have a bump. Let's go in here and enable these with the same diffuse and effect scale 0.005 possibly. I want to add some points here. 0 here, 1. Can now see some sort of bump and specular variation over the leaves. It would be enough for me right now. Let's continue with adding another principal shader for ferns. Which would be pure color possibly. Let's just rename it to Fern. I think this shader will work for our other branch and trunk as well. So let's merge it from here, disable this color, or move this color right here. Disable the previous one. And plug it to the material. Let's add a material. I'm not sure merging these guys together is a true thing, but I just wanna examine right now. Let's add a material to these ferns, and as they don't have any wheat, this would be a problem to get visualized. Let's add a weed here. And a growing mesh. Let's see how mantra will work with the lines in this case, if it auto detects them. Let's add a merge. I think it should not work, but I'm just gonna try. As I explained before, you can easily delete any branch in any level. I just wanted them to exist. Let's grab an IPR, Alt Shift W, Alt 9. Now you can see it is getting the furs, and shaders are doing their job as well. I'm not okay with the thickness of this drawing. I just wanted to describe the manipulation node, so I've used this thickness, but you can change it anytime and recalculate the meshes. This was actually a fast creation, and when you're heading to film shots or TV commercials, you have more than days possibly to create a complicated effect like this. So I can say you really will have an upper hand in production of growing subjects using this method. Thanks for visiting this video. I'm just gonna do some retime with this cache data and share the results with you so we can see how growing fern inside Houdini is possible using Growinfinite and Mantra. Also, I may need to change something about the strategy. I may like to have retime before my mesh, and after retime creating growing mesh would be better, so I'll also change these file caches, but this one is okay by me and retime will work on it. So I'll do these things retiming, and will share with you the heap file so you can see how I retimed this guy as well. You can simply also have your retime right here at the end of tree, but I prefer to do it something like here, because when you are going to retime a thick drawing with bend like this, you will need more sample to keep the volume, so it's better to do this instead of over calculating. It's better to just arrange the retiming. So I'll continue in manual and let you see how it will be. I'll move it right here and here and add a retime and create a reference actions, create reference copy. Okay, we'll just copy the growing retime. From here, here, and here, and we'll just change this a bit, as we have from 1 to 120 in this growing. Yes, we have this. Let's see how retime can be for something like 300 frames. In this growing retime, we need to change the retime speed to 0, and from the start of frame 1 we will go up and reach the frame 120. Frame 120 from here, and we'll have something like possibly 64 in here, and 90 right here, 118, I think it would be nice. Fast and slow. I want the slow motion to have some linear looking, so I change this beziers a bit. Okay, we are done with this retiming as well. Let's change the caches. Safety disk them. As we are changing our strategy, we will need to recache our data. You can see first frame is a bit slower, but in continue it will get faster. One more thing I need to do is also moving this time shift up and switching to this merge node and go at updates to see how our ferns will look. Okay, as I need to check the retime, I will need to create a flipbook. So let's do this from start to end. Okay, we are sort of done with the gross motion check. We can now see how the retime will work, and I think it is good. This is possibly what I'll render and share with you in different angles to see how the growth will look over these ferns. Thank you for visiting this tutorial. See you next time.